Over the ice ages, millions of tonnes of sand and gravel were deposited over Lincolnshire, and in 1984, RMC Aggregates bought the site of the old bomber base at Woodall Spa to begin gravel and sand extraction.
We're excavating sand and gravel because the mineral industry is one of the most important parts of society as we know it. This material here is taken by lorry to our customers to build houses, schools, hospitals, even the homes that we live in. It's used in so many different types of things. Material, excavated, it's used in paper, toothpaste, even cornflakes have a certain amount in. We simply wouldn't know life without material that we dig from the ground. Well, we're standing here on the sand and gravel which has been exposed by the machinery. It's been laid down by the glaciers. It's approximately 4 metres deep. The machine behind us is clearing the material to enable it to be loaded onto lorries for transportation up to the processing plant. We're now standing in the aggregate processing plant at the quarry, where material is brought from the dig by dump truck. We saw the loader there, and it's tipped at the far end there, and it comes up the main belt to the top, where it drops down into the washer barrel, which goes round and round. The water cleans the worst of the material off. Fine material, including sand, is taken along the pipes, comes up, and we can see it forms into 2 grades there. The heavier gravel goes round, and the screen mats separate it into different sizes, and different sizes come up the differing belts, and we can see a stockpile here of the finished sand and gravel. So the material is now waiting for the loading shovel to come up, lift it and put it onto the lorries to take it away to our customers.
Quarrying here will eventually remove around 20 million tonnes of sand and gravel, leaving behind a large hole up to 5 metres deep. But RMC can't just leave the site like this, and along with other mineral extraction companies, they must make a commitment to restore the site when they have finished.
Well, I think you have to look at every quarry on an individual basis, and you assess, depending on any number of factors such as the depth of the deposit, the location it's in, the surrounding countryside, which avenue you would follow for restoration, because you can restore quarries in many different ways. You can restore them to amenity, football pitches, but clearly that would have no position here. And when we looked at the restoration of Tattershallthorpe, of the old airfield, it was quite clear that next to us was an existing SSSI which was run by the Lincolnshire Wildlife Trust. So it clearly lended itself to either agriculture or to restoration on a nature conservation basis.
A SSSI stands for a Site of Special Scientific Interest, and immediately to the north of the quarry is the SSSI of Kirby Moor. Warden Dave Bromwich was involved in the original planning stages to restore the worked-out quarry site to a nature reserve.
With more money coming into nature conservation recently, particularly from the Heritage Lottery Fund, it's enabled us to cast our eye over bigger projects and be more ambitious in what we do. With this site being right next to our big nature reserve anyway, we were able to speak to RMC. Fortunately, they're a very forward-thinking company. They've got other projects in the East Midlands that they've been working with the Leicestershire Trust and the Nottinghamshire Trust. So this approach was not unknown to them. And a great deal of consultation. They wanted to know what our aims were, our schemes, and obviously being a company, the financial situation as well. And so we were able to talk all through that. We've gone through the whole of the restoration, what our grand vision is for the site over the next, well, really long term, 50 years perhaps, and dealing with the company, they've shared with our vision. It's a good use for old sand and gravel quarries.
And the area of greatest satisfaction I have, particularly with conservation, is the replacement of lost habitats. Because in the past we've lost, as we know, we're talking about the Coversands projects, we've lost huge areas of this, wetlands, as drainage has been, particularly in the East Midlands, farming practice, buildings, and no criticism of any of these things. But even going back to the Romans and their huge drainage situations, that we are now in a position to put back these things, which will in fact, as I said before, give those species which require those habitats the opportunity to thrive. And we're also, particularly at Woodall Spa here, we're in a very, very important position, because with over 500 acres of land available, it gives you the scale in which to establish habitats, which really helps, because a pocket handkerchief perhaps has only limited value. If you have a big area, wow.